Welcome everyone to here. We're about to do the good old tier list for Skul, the Hero Slayer. I'm excited for this. Some of these names might not be correct, but we're gonna go ahead and get this done. Now, keep in mind this is my personal opinion, and it's the opinion of the Skul, just the entirety of the Skul, whether it's common or legendary. It's just what I think of the Skul, whether it's god tier, bad, very good, good, not so great. So we're gonna get right into it here. There's not a whole lot to see here, not a whole lot of skulls, but we're gonna start with Alchemist. Alchemist, I think, is god tier. Alchemist, with almost any flask, those flasks do so much damage, and then when you level him up all the way to legendary, he's absolutely a beast because you can just hit that left trigger whenever your meter is halfway full. It'll destroy almost anything in its path. It's absolutely amazing. I'm a big fan. Aqua. I'm not gonna lie, I don't use Aqua that much. I'm gonna put in the bad tier. A lot of power skulls are just bad for me because they're you gotta kinda, they only get one dash, and that's not great because it's a lot harder to dodge. They hit like trucks, but they also take a lot of damage. Archlich, obviously god tier. He is so amazingly good. If you can get him with the ability where the chains just cover the entire stage, you're in good shape. You can also reroll for that. You don't always get it. Most of the time when I got Archlich, seems like I made it happen and I had the chains already. So maybe that's just lucky for me, but he is definitely god tier. Can take out almost anything. Get a good build on him and you can win the run. Berserker, I'm gonna put at the very good tier. He is a beast, especially if he's unique right out of the gate. Hits like a truck. His ability where he just almost explodes. He doesn't explode, but makes like a explode around him. Everything explode around him, and he decimates everything. It's absolutely fun to see. And then if you get him up to a legendary, you go into demon mode. That's one of the most fun times I've ever had playing Skul the Hero Slayer because you are fast, hit like a train, nothing can stop you, but it costs you a little HP. So there is some give and take there for sure. That's why he's not a god tier, because he has a hard time sustaining, and he only gets one dash as well. Bomber, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna put Bomber in the very good tier only because I have only used him in the common and maybe the rare state, if I remember correctly. People tell me, or I think he's rare out of the gate. I think I've had him rare and maybe unique, but people tell me once you get him up to legendary, he's like god tier, S tier. He's never, ever, ever gonna lose. But this is my opinion of these skulls throughout the entirety of the run. So like Alchemist, if you get Alchemist early, he can carry you throughout the whole run. Bomber, if you get him early, he's not hard to play, but he's very different for sure. You got to do a lot of dodging, running around, and then he swaps automatically, which is good or bad. Depends on how you look at it. Clown, I'm also going to put at the very good tier. I've got, I think he's Jester in the game technically now. Very fast, has those throwing knives that are amazing. I've had him a legendary a few times. Haven't had a great build with him, but I think with the right build, you could take Clown all the way to the end of the game, no doubt in my mind. Dark Paladin, he is an S tier for me. I've had him legendary so many times. One of my first runs that I won with Dark Paladin. It was a legendary. He's so good. I built him magic, which is I'm not sure how most people build him. And then you get that meter full, and then you just tear everything apart in front of you. He's so fun to play. His abilities are amazing. The one where you charge it up and then pretty much just throw a beam of like a sword beam at everybody. Well, that's one of my favorite abilities. He's super, super good, super fun to play. And I'm gonna put it the. He's either bad. He's either not so great or bad. I'm gonna put him in not so great because at early stages he can carry you through like the first part of the game. He does have a slam down, which isn't great, especially when you're fighting like Yggdrasil. But at the beginning of the game, he hits like a train, can take everything out in front of him. He's not he's not great, right? That's why I put him in the not so great category. Fighter, I believe he's champion now. I'm going to put him in the B tier. He's good. He's definitely good. You can go Super Saiyan with him, so how could you not love that, right? He is a power skull, though, so he suffers from the same problem a lot of power skulls do, only one dash. hard to keep him out of trouble a lot of the time. But he's still a good Skul, still fun to play in my opinion. Hard to take you all the way maybe, but still pretty fun to play. Gargoyle, I'm just going to put bad because he likes to be in the air when he hits. The biggest problem is when you're building Gargoyle is he's half and half damage, right? So sometimes he's got a physical ability and a magical ability. So then you're like, well, what do I build? And then the only way he really does, quick damage, he gets a buff if he's attacking from the air. So take it or leave it. I don't really ever take Gargoyle. I don't think he's that good. Just my own personal opinion. This is Ice Skul. It says Glacial. It's the Ice Skul. S tier for sure. It's the same thing. If you get him early, he's plenty good enough to carry you until you get him to Legendary. Once you get him to Legendary, he just tears everything apart. And honestly, my favorite ability with him is where you freeze yourself and you're protected, and then you explode and do a bunch of damage. That combined with the Iceberg, in my opinion, super good combo. I love it. He's one of my favorite Skuls. He's the Skul that I won my first run with. He's amazing in my opinion. Grim Reaper is actually going to go into the A tier, but he is number 1 A tier in my opinion because he's a room clearer, right? He's not a boss killer, but he's absolutely a room clearer. You kill an enemy, you get stuff that comes out of the mini, attacks more enemies. His swap ability is absolutely devastating. All of his other abilities, you just clear rooms for days. He's so much fun. And when you get you get Grim Reaper, you're like, okay, all right, this is dope. This is sick. And you're gonna have, at the very least, you're gonna have a good time. Hunter, he's either not so great or bad. Like, Hunter is so hard to play, especially in the early game. He's a rare Skul right out of the gate. It feels like he does 0 damage. He's not good. He's hard to play. You gotta have a lot of patience. If you're gonna win as Hunter, you're gonna have a long run. That is for darn sure. This says Jin, but he's Genie. Same thing, not so great. I believe he does have a double dash. Suffers from a lot of the problems that a lot of the other power Skuls do, right? He's just not very fast. Hits like a train. He's not actually, he could almost be in the good tier. He's fun to play. So maybe, I'm actually going to throw him in the good tier. I think he deserves it. He's not that bad, I guess. Living Armor, I am actually going to throw him in the B tier as well. Especially if you can get him up to a Legendary, then he's super cool, and then you get the meter charge at the bottom, and then it doesn't even matter. Whatever skill you have after that, he's going to hit freaking hard. And it's fun to watch, it's fun to see, it's fun to play. Minotaur, he hits really hard. I'm going to put him in the not so great tier. I don't really take him very often. He's a power Skul. So a lot of the problems with the power Skul is just you don't have the ability to evade. He's not the funnest thing ever in the world. I like fast, speedy. That's when I have the most fun in the games, when I'm playing fast and loose and I'm not worried about dying. Mummy, I'm actually going to put in the good tier as well. He's got a lot of range, shoots everything up really well. He's got a couple of different really good abilities. The poison ability is just fine, but suffers kind of from the same problems. I think he can get both physical and magic, so he's good, he's fun, he's not great. Ninja, I'm going to put at an A tier. His abilities, they can carry you through definitely the early parts of the game, especially Shuriken and Shadow Clone Jutsu, especially if you can get those two. And then when you get him up to Legendary, he gets 4 skills. He gets 2 skills in the air and 2 skills on the ground, which is just super fun. And if you can get, there's a certain item, I forget what it's called, but it gives you more attack power the more skills that you have on cooldown. He's got 4 skills, so super fun. You can get pretty creative with him. Super fast. Like I said, I love playing speed Skuls. That's just me personally. Super fun. Predator, you are, I'm gonna say you're a god tier. Right out of the gate, no matter what abilities that he has, I prefer having Hack, where he doesn't have a lot of movement. Hack, and then something like Whirlwind, where it's one that can move him across the room really fast, and one where he can just stand there and just wreck everything. The only problem that I have with Predator is when he becomes a legendary, you've got to finish the combo, tap, right or left trigger, whichever one you got, to get the full effect out of his like trigger ability, because at the end, if he's legendary, you go trigger, 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 trigger. At the very end, he does something really cool. Hits with like an extra hard attack. Super good, super fun. I love Predator. He was one of the most powerful skulls that I got very early. I got Predator and Berserker in the same run. It was probably within like my first 5 or 10 runs or something like that. So yeah, I have fond memories of Berserker and Predator for sure. Moving on to Prisoner. Prisoner, I'm gonna put very good. The only problem with Prisoner, yeah, he's almost on the good tier. He's almost down here on the good tier. I'm gonna move him over here as well, and over here. The only problem with Prisoner is it incentivizes you to play just as Prisoner, because you pick up cells. The more cells you pick up, you get more scrolls of power. Essentially, it's dead cells. But if you swap, you lose your buffs, essentially, right? So it very much wants you to play as Prisoner and stay as Prisoner. And the other problem is he can't upgrade. He's stuck at unique. He cannot move on to legendary, last time I checked anyway. So that's again one of my bigger problems with Prisoner. If you could upgrade and it's something cool, so I don't even know what you'd upgrade him into, but also depends on what abilities you get and that kind of thing. He is super fun. He's very good. You can just play him and still have a great time with it. Recruit, better than Prisoner, I would say. Recruit is I just had a really good recruit run personally. That was just me, where you're just spamming. He's your summon skull, right? You're just summoning stuff left and right. He's freaking tearing it up. He's got a million mods on the screen for you, just tearing through the enemies, and all you got to do is pretty much just get the heck out of the way and let your people do their thingies. It's a very different playstyle, very fun though. I enjoy it whenever I get the chance. Rider, I'm gonna put probably in front of Recruit. Now, I haven't seen Rider as a legendary personally, but I know it's really, really good. And the runs that I've had with Rider are absolutely decimating. You get on that bike and you just tear through everything. It's a good room clear. It's a good boss killer. It's got to be amazing against I forget what the third boss's name is, but you got to just like run Behemoth. You just got to just run right into him and just do a ton of damage. Samurai, I'm also going to put up here. I wouldn't say... I mean, Samurai definitely probably in front of Ninja, but I'm going to put him behind Berserker. This is just, like I said, this is just my own personal opinion. You can agree with me, you can disagree with me. Samurai, if you can get him up to a legendary, he gets full moon. It's like full moon slash, I think is what it's called. And is very, very good. The big thing is you get the cooldown on your slash ability, where you mark enemies, you slash through them, and if you hit the enemy with the most marks, you get a reset on it automatically. So if you can learn how to spam that, you're just going to tear through everybody, and it's super fun, super good. I love playing it. Just had a run today where I got Legendary Samurai, and I loved it. I enjoyed it. How could you not? Skeleton Shield, I'm going with not so great. Again, I have not upgraded him to Legendary or anything like that. I know people who got their first wins with Skeleton Shield. Not my playstyle. I'm not very good with him. He's just not fun for me. I don't like playing him, and I don't think he's that good personally. That's just me. We got Base Skull. He is very good, especially if you can get Mage's Necklace. Obviously, then you can just spam Mage's Necklace and get magic damage. Tear your way through the game. If you don't know how he works, you left trigger to throw the skull, right trigger, and you'll disappear back to the skull. So those each count as their own triggered abilities, but once you teleport to your skull and put it on, you can throw your skull again right away. The cooldown resets. So you can just left trigger, right trigger, just like the entire time. Throwing your skull, picking it up, and just Mage's Necklace creates these orbs that do damage to enemies, so it's absolutely decimating if you can find the combo. He becomes very powerful if you can make it work, and Mage's Necklace is not that hard to find. It says Sneak, but this is the Thief. I'm gonna put Thief in God tier for sure. Alchemist is not the best God tier, by the way. I would say the best, I think he's really good. It would look something, maybe something like this. Now, I used to is he's petty thief now in the game. I used to hate playing petty thief because every time he attacks, he moves backwards. You can hold forward and that kind of thing, but if you're just standing there pressing the attack button, he's just backwards, backwards, backwards. So it's kind of like I didn't love it when I first played him, but finally got him to a legendary. Even almost as a unique, if you have a lot of magic damage and the smoke bomb, you just throw the smoke bombs, run away, and it'll kill almost anything if you've got enough magic damage. Super fun. You get throws gold along with that. If that does exploding magic damage, you're going to be killing it. You get them up to a legendary, you only have one smoke bomb, but you're invulnerable while you're inside that smoke bomb. So you throw down the smoke bomb, as long as you're in that smoke, nothing can damage you for as long as it lasts. So one of the ways I got through the hero fight, one of the first times I got through the game, super overpowered, super good skill. That's all you really need to know about Petty Thief. If you get the chance, get him up to a legendary. He's that good. He's that much fun. Spear. He's skeleton pikeman, I believe. I'm gonna put him in the B tier as well, near living armor. He is fun if you can get I've had a couple dashing builds. There's a lot of items that synergize around dashing. So you can get a dashing build going, get him up to a legendary. I have seen him as a legendary. He's cool, he's fun. I think the parry mechanic, I would just need to get better at it, practice at it more, but he's got a lot of potential for sure. He's fun to play, I'm not gonna lie. He's pretty good. I'm a big fan of especially early game too, right? He's got a pretty good aerial attack, and then he just hits fast, hits like a truck. My kind of skull for sure. Skeleton sword, he's definitely an A tier, probably in front of a recruit. This is how I would do it. You need to have it's not triple pierce. One of the abilities that does magic, Saw Blade Slash. If you get him up to legendary, he's got Saw Blade Slash, does magic damage when it hits, and then extra magic damage right after that. So you build magic around him, get Saw Blade Slash, and you'll destroy almost anything with one Saw Blade Slash. And then if you can get like Infinite Bone with something like that with it, where it gives you like a 20 or 30% chance, something like that, to automatically give you a cooldown. That works really good with Archlich as well. A lot of these skulls can work really well with Infinite Bone, one of the best items in the game. But you get automatic reset, and you can just Saw Blade Slash your entire way through the game. Pretty cool way to play. I got a Dark Paladin, and I got him up to legendary and him up to a unique, and it was super fun. I honestly loved it. Had a great time. Didn't win, but still thought it was a super good run. Warrior is just straight bad. You have to charge all his moves. Yes, the game has a lot of, I should say, concentrate. You hold the button down, it concentrates, does more damage. The game has been better about giving more items that help with concentrating skulls. Warrior is definitely the one that suffers the most from concentration. Almost all of his moves, you have to hold the button down, sit there for a second and concentrate, and then hit, and you only have one dash. He's just kind of okay for me. I'm not much of a fan. Werewolf, I'm gonna say probably behind Clown. I love Werewolf. One of the first skulls that I fell in love with. I'm not gonna be too biased about it though, because every time I get Werewolf, even if I get a decent run with him, he suffers from those problems again, where he's physical and magic. It's hard to get two of the same abilities, and you really want to build, I think in my opinion, you want to build madness and attack speed around him, attack as fast as you can, and then have physical attack on top of that. That's just me, but every time I get him, I can't seem to win a run with him. Doesn't mean he's not good, just maybe I'm not good with him. Yaksha, he's almost like he's the best of the not so great. I'll be honest with you, every time I get Yaksha, I'm disappointed when I take him. He's a power skull. He feels like he doesn't even hit that hard, and he's a legendary right out of the gate. I don't think he's that good. The worst legendary skull by far, for sure. Archmage has got to be an S tier, God tier, because he can destroy. If you get the meteor ability with Archmage, he's just going to destroy entire rooms. You can just sit on the left, start charging your meteor ability, and then jump in right before it takes off, destroy everything in that room, It's a great boss killer. All of his other abilities are pretty good boss killers and room clears, especially if you can get him up to a legendary. He's super fun to play. Different playstyle. You can move around and dodge while you're charging your abilities. It's pretty fun. If you ever get a chance to get Archmage, highly recommended. Ghoul, he's going to go down here in the not so great category. Probably behind Minotaur. I've had a couple Ghoul runs. He's just the Ghoul, man. He gets bigger as he gets stronger, which isn't good in my opinion. Gives you a bigger hitbox, you're just going to get hit more. And he's not that fun to play. His mechanics, in my opinion, are not that fun. Rockstar, on the other hand, super fun to play. I think he's at least an A tier Skul. I'm going to put him probably just in front of Prisoner. He's magic damage. He's fun to listen to play his guitar. You get the band after you've been playing the guitar for long enough. Almost all of his abilities. The amp is my favorite one because you can just drop. If you're in a boss fight, you just wait for those three charges, run over, drop all 3 amps. It does so much damage, especially if you're building. You should be building magic. If you have a lot of magic damage, it's just going to destroy everything. So this is my own personal opinion, my own tier list for Skul the Hero Slayer. If you agree, disagree, comment down below. Let me know what you think. I'm sure I'll have some people say, hey, this is the worst tier list I've ever seen in my life. How in the world could you ever put Skeleton Shield? And C, not so great. Have you ever seen Legendary Skeleton Shield? And no, I haven't, to be fair. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you had fun. I had a ton of fun making this. So if you guys watched, thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll see you in the next one. If you do like Skul, I try to stream Skul as much as I can on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 12 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. That's 10 a.m. Eastern, I believe. Or it's 2 p.m. Eastern. It's the other way around. But like I said, if you guys watched, I do appreciate you for watching. Come check me out on Twitch. Subscribe, follow, blah, blah, blah. All that fun stuff. You guys take care. Have a good one. See ya.